It's important for every person or company to have legal compliance in the tax area by either investigating or hiring someone to stay up to date with the changes in the criminal law. This is because it's possible to be involved in infringement of one of these laws, and this can help them avoid or be protected in the problem. We are Legal Techs, a legal firm, and we are here to help you with your problems. But firstly, we're going to introduce you to some topics. An infraction, as Mejia mentioned in the legal journals of the UNAM, is violation of a law, but it's frequently misused by the people who don't know the basis of these concepts and can be confused for a crime. But the difference is that a tax infraction usually merits an economic sanction, like a fine, which is imposed by tax authorities, while a crime, as stated in the Penal Code of the Federal District of Mexico in Article 7, is the act or omission of a law and is sanctioned by penal laws, so it's an infraction which needs corporal penalty and can lead to prison. And these sanctions are imposed by judicial authorities. They're outlined by the same law, and even though these infractions seem less strict than a crime, there are certain factors that can make infractions more strict on their own way.
So for those factors, we chose 5 different types, and we have the first one that is repeat offenses, and is if the infraction is combined multiple choices or multiple times. So the offender might be face to face and strict consequences. And for the second one is endangering others. So if the infraction poses a significant risk to public safety, such as spending in a school zone or reckless driving, the penalties could be higher. And for the third one will be no compliance with authorities. If an offender refuses to comply with the law enforcement during an infraction. And for the fourth one will be intended if the infraction must be in combined with the deliberate disregard for the law. That means that an intentional violating in the environmental regulations. And the finally one will be vulnerable victims if the infraction involves the harm to particular groups that are vulnerable, for example, the child or old groups like adults for the third age.
It's essential for us to know the types of infractions and what could happen if you are involved in them. In Mexican tax law, there are several types of infractions with specific sanctions. First, formal infractions involve administrative errors like failing to file tax returns or not registering with the tax authority, which result in fines based on the severity of the omission. Second, substantive infractions such as underreporting income or incorrect deductions can lead to significant financial penalties like interests and surcharges. The most serious are tax crimes, which include fraud, falsifying invoices, or evading taxes through illicit means,
which Marsha will now explain in detail.
The tax evasion has a penalty of a substantial financial or a penalty often ranging from a percentage of the unpaid tax from a 75% in some jurisdictions. Failure to file a tax return, that would be a penalty that could be as high as 5% of the unpaid tax for each month of the returning late. Another one would be fraudulent tax return, that would be 75% penalty of the unpaid tax due to fraud. Failure to pay taxes owed, that would be penalties can reach 0.5% to 1% of the unpaid tax. And another one could be aiding or assisting to the preparation of a false return. That would be fines large like civil or penalties, and imprisonment can result in up to 3 years of prison.
When one of the past explained cases happens, there's a tendency to who is responsible for the errors made. In Mexican tax law, the responsibility for committing tax crimes can be attributed to several individuals or entities, depending on the role and involvement. According to the Código Federal de la Federación, which governs tax crimes in Mexico, the following are typically held responsible. Taxpayers. The primary responsibility lies with the taxpayers who fail to comply with their tax obligations, such as evading taxes, falsifying information, or underreporting income. Legal representatives. In the case of companies or other legal entities, legal representatives, directors, or managers can be held personally responsible for tax crimes if they engage in or allow illegal tax practices on behalf of the company. Accountants or tax advisors. Professionals who assist or advise individuals or companies in committing tax crimes can also be held responsible. This includes accountants or advisors who knowingly help with tax evasion. falsify records, or provide fraudulent tax advice. Companies. They may face sanctions such as fines or penalties, and individuals within the company can be held criminally liable for the participation or approval of tax crimes.
Tax time doesn't have to be stressful. Partner with us and don't let tax catch up on you.